This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening. In last Thursday's weekly webinar for stock waves, we took a closer look at the URA uranium ETF in some of the key components and selected some of our favorite charts from there. Uranium has been in a 10-year long downturn, but has started to show some life recently. We can count in most charts, particularly some of the more established companies, a very nice ABC consolidation complete from the 2011 highs and some very nice impulsive wave action off of the 2020 lows. Those 2020 lows were very significant bottoms for lots of charts. But as we saw the clean corrective decline coming down from the September and August highs in a lot of uranium stocks, we began to get pretty bullish. Lynn posted some bullish fundamental analysis in one of her deep dives in October on the uranium sector, and then followed that up with another where fundamentals meet technicals in December. And since then, we got our nice start to a larger third wave in a lot of those charts that we're going to take a closer look at. So I'm going to zoom in now on the structure off of that 2020 low for URA, the global uranium ETF. And the only thing that we kind of are toying with as a possible alternative, we do have a strong 5 waves up, a corrective decline for a nice shallow retrace, and a strong impulsive start to the next move. That impulsive start did tag the 764 fib in this extensions for the wave 3. And that can be signaling that this is just the start of a very, very strong larger degree wave 3, but usually the Fibonacci pinball limits for wave 1 of a third are going to cap that move at the 618, and usually it's going to target the 382, the 0.50, or the 618, somewhere in this region. So the extension past could just be a very, very strong aggressive third, which is what we think that this is. But we do have to consider the potential that this could be the top of the third here inside that 3 at the normal 100% extension. We get another consolidation, and then the parentheses wave 3 tops somewhere in the 2380 region for its normal 1382 instead of getting the more aggressive extension that we see here. But a lot of the individual charts still show very, very well and are not looking quite as extreme in terms of that wave 1. So we're going to continue to keep that as the operative count. One other thing that we've discussed is that we don't have the cleanest 5 waves up. We do have a strong move, but it is possible to count this as A, B, C up for a B wave in a wider flat for the wave 2. But in most of these names, since we've already made nominally higher highs over the January top of wave 1, any potential C wave down of a wider flat for wave 2 is very likely to hold above the February low. So looking very strong in the months and years ahead. And in some of these names, as you'll see, this entire structure could be just a larger primary degree wave 1 inside a larger cycle degree move. Now going into the individual names, the largest holding inside URA is Camco Corp, or Camco, and it's in the URA, it's holding the Canadian listed version. Garrett and I have been tracking this on as CCJ on the New York Stock Exchange. Usually we do like to keep track of the native chart as opposed to over-the-counter traded ADRs. But when something is listed both on the NYSE as well as on the native chart, and the charts look so similar, you know, we use both of those a little bit more interchangeably. So we do like the CCJ chart and have been following that very closely since the early in 2020. We're very, very happy that it gave us such a nice clean ABC retrace after that first 5 up into the November low, right at a 38.2% Fibonacci retrace level, and then a strong reversal from there, filling out perfectly as wave 1 of our larger 3. And here's the chart where we said, that this entire structure that we're looking at in URA, that CCJ fills out very, very well and shows, is a great example of that structure, where this parentheses 5 waves up looks like it's just going to be a larger primary degree wave 1 inside the start of a larger cycle degree move. It's possible that's a cycle degree C wave, but it could also still be a third. It does look very likely as though we're starting the third of that parentheses wave 3 already, but similar to the URA chart, it is possible that we can count this high as the top of wave 1, and this is the A and the B wave, and it attempts a wider flat. But just like on URA, where we said since it's already over that prior high, that any attempt at a C wave is very likely to try and hold in that 1260 region or maybe higher, as opposed to dropping below the 12s. But are looking really good for a minimal target for the third of this wave 3 up in the close to the 21 region, possibly extending closer to the 23 to 26 zone, and then getting closer to the 29-30 region for the 3 overall. Ideally, this primary degree wave 1 is going to be capped at about 46 because that's the 0.618 of the larger degree C wave, and we don't want to see our wave 1 extend beyond that. One of the other charts that stood out a lot to us that we've been following very closely is symbol U. This is Uranium Participation Corp. It's one of Lynn's favorites from a fundamental side, as it is more of a pure play on uranium as opposed to being a mining company. And you can see very similar structure off of the 2020 low. We have our larger wave 1 and wave 2, and then the 1-2 start inside that wave 3. Our ideal 100% extension for the 3 of wave 3 is going to be at 676. And our third wave overall should target minimally the 8.3 region for its 138.2% extension. One of the other names that we do like a lot, that's also a large holding in URA, is the Nxe chart. This one, I have faded out that potential wider flat for wave 2 to a dark mustard yellow because it is significantly higher now over the top of its wave 1. Let me go to the daily so that we can get the same view that we've been looking at on those other charts. Stretch this out because it did get a little bit more compressed on that 4-hour view. But we should certainly be further along here, I think, in a breakout into the heart of our third, targeting the 625 region. Then after a fourth wave consolidation, our intermediate degree wave 3 is targeting about 1050 for its 1382 extension. Next, that we really like because of the continued the agreement of that 1-2-1-2 structure, as well as the potential that it is part of a larger move, is UEC. Again, the 1-2 at intermediate degree off the 2020 low, the strong wave 1 and wave 2 start, and looking like a very strong start to the beginning of wave 3. This, because of the FIB extensions, we have to consider, because we're already a lot further along inside the normal FIBs for this 3, that this 100% extension here, that this could have been a 1-2, and this is working on 3, and then we get 4 and 5 up to the 5 region for parentheses 3 a little bit sooner. But ideally, this is really just the start of a third that's heading up towards the 530 to 613 region. And then after consolidation, we can get further extension into the 8s or even above 10 for wave 5 of parentheses wave 3 on your UEC. Two other names that we also do like a lot that stood out from the grouping had similar charts to each other. And one of them was EFR, also trading on the Canadian index. This one definitely counts as further along. It's already past the 100% extension, so it's far more likely it has the same 1-2 off of the 2020 low, but then it is further along inside the wave 3. So this will be a good opportunity to see some rotation. So you could see some consolidation here as some of those other names continue on strongly to reach their targets, but has plenty of room still for upside after holding the 4s here for this 4th wave, and then stretching up towards 847 for the 5th of wave 3. Maybe this can head on up closer to the 1092 level for more extension, especially if this is just wave 1 of a 5th wave here, and then our 4th wave might hold a bit higher, and the 5th here heading up towards 1650. Similar to EFR is the Urg chart, which is another big holding. I was concerned initially at this being just an ABC up, but I think we can give this the benefit of the doubt because it is so similar to all of the others, that this was just the 3 of a larger 3, and this will continue to get a 4, a wave 4 and a wave 5 fill out in line with that EFR chart. So we tagged a 1, 2, 3, 6 extension here. So this is probably something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5th wave up, targeting the 2 region, and then holding, holding consolidation for that intermediate wave 4, and then a 5th wave up closer to the 200% or maybe above. And then lastly, another one that counts very well is the 1, 2, 1, 2, and also looks very strongly as though it's starting that heart of the 3rd of the 3rd, and not just a B wave of a wider flat, so giving more validity to that assumption. And this is the same 1, 2, and then a 1, 2 start inside that parentheses wave 3. The 3rd of the 3 should be targeting the 1, 2, 5 level, and then 239 is the 1, 3, 8, 2 extension. Certainly, if we see more extension with this getting closer up to that 187 level, then we can hold a little bit higher of a 4th and get the 3rd and the intermediate 3 to extend all the way up towards the 1618 extension at 357. Well, that should do it for the highlights from the energy sector. We're very excited about the uranium plays, as in addition to all of the other energy stocks that we like in the standard oil and exploration and natural gas fields. But hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on our Stockwaves board.